and good evening. This is Lindsay and Carl on Unfilter Caregiver. Say hey, Carl.
Hey, everyone.
This is a podcast that talks about the good, the bad, the ugly of home health, what you need to be educated about. We're here to tell you and educate you bi-weekly. So our topic tonight is 10 signs your loved one may no longer be safe living alone. And I'm just going to shoot down the 10 topics and then we're going to jump in some stories that we've had. So number 1, forgetting medications. Number 2, frequent falls or near falls. 3, weight loss, poor nutrition, unpaid bills and confusion with finances, wandering or getting lost, poor hygiene, increased isolation. So, yeah, I know me and Carl have had experiences with all of the above. Carl, do you want to jump on and just talk about a couple of them and I'll jump on too?
Well, one of the most important one is falls.
Yeah, big time.
I think after falls, a lot of clients' health declines and, it ends up a lot of times in death.
Totally.
And that's very sad. Also, poor hygiene.
Oh my God, that's like the biggest one, I think. I think when someone has dementia or Alzheimer's,
Their homes are dirty, themselves are dirty, they forget how to clean and shower.
or they don't want to shower and they fight you against it daily.
They
fight
fight,
against
especially when they forget that they haven't showered in days or weeks, and they want to fight you that, yes, I showered yesterday. I showered this morning.
But yet you walk into their bathroom and there's not a drip of water. And the soap is brand new since a month ago.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
so
super sad.
totally. Or them living in their dirty Depends, not wanting to change, not wanting to do any kind of thing, even a bed
Not
bath.
accepting that they need briefs and they still want to go on wearing underwear.
Right.
And it's understandable. People don't want to lose their dependency, and people get embarrassed.
Right.
Who wants to wear diapers? Who wants to wear briefs? And
Exactly.
we want to keep our underwear, and it's sad, when you get to a point that a lot of clients don't want to accept that, it's past that point.
Right.
It's at night, it's after 5, 6, and they start wandering around. They get lost. They don't know their way back home.
Or they've left their house and they don't know where they're going. So I get phone calls, like, hey, Lindsay, I'm calling for my next door neighbor. Her kids aren't involved yet, but I'm concerned because my next door neighbor, I think, is on the cusp of dementia or Alzheimer's. And she walked out of her house 2 nights ago and we found her at the grocery store almost a mile away. Like, can you believe that? And I'm like,
It's
oh my
so
God,
sad.
it happens all the time though. Like people leave the burners on and they walk out the door when they don't have care yet. Or, they have a slip and fall. I had a family call me a few weeks ago and they said, gosh, Lindsay, we live in another state and our mom lives in California and her next door neighbor told us that she fell and broke her hip, but she didn't want to tell us or worry us. So getting back to these points of like when it's time to need help, a lot of times the person that needs help they cannot identify that they need help, right? Sometimes it's a next door
Definitely.
neighbor. Sometimes it's a next door neighbor that's checking up on them all the time.
And it's understandable, they're in denial that they need help. They want to keep their independency, and nobody wants to accept that they need help. Nobody
Totally.
wants to accept that they're getting old.
Right. Or not even that they're not like accepting it. Maybe it's the cognitive, like they don't really understand that they need help. You know what I mean? And this
Definitely.
is right. And this is when it comes down to kids of moms and dads, nephews and nieces, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, cousins, whatever. This is when you guys need to step in and kind of be like, hey, it's time. Let's have this conversation. And a lot of times the conversation goes totally sour because once again, like you're stating, who wants to admit that they need help? And I'll give you a perfect example right here, okay? I'm a caregiver part-time. I take care of a lady for the last year. I've taken care of her off and on for like 11 years. I'm part of the family. Anyway, this year, she has broken 3 different bones. So she lives alone. She's very, very, her mind is completely there. She's very well educated, well-rounded, but she will not admit that she needs to use a walker. And I'm on top of her all the time. I'm like, do you want to be in the hospital for a 4th time this year? Like we've broken the ankle, we've broken the shoulder, now we've broken the hip. And I'm on top of her all day long when I'm with her, like, hey, you didn't break the walker correctly. You're not sitting on it correctly. You're not walking in it correctly. And honestly, we get into it. I know she loves me and I love her, but like she wants her independence. And so I was working 7 days a week on all of these times that she broke something, and it would go down to 5 days. Now it's down to 3 days. But I'm constantly telling her, hey, you need me these 3 days. I know that the other 4 days you could have an accident and I'm not there, but the 3 days I'm there, let's get out of the house. Let's walk around the block. Mobility, mobility, mobility is key because we don't want another breakage. But I'm constantly talking to her back and forth and, not arguing, but trying to convince her, like, hey, you need a walker, because she's trying to convince me, hey, it's been a month. I'm walking okay. I don't need a walker. And trust me, that one time that she's not going to use the walker is going to be the next time that she falls and breaks something again. So, yeah, getting back to frustration, nobody wants to lose their independence. But sometimes
And then
we just,
also,
what?
if families know that they're not around their loved ones who are older, it's always good to have somebody just check on them.
Right, right,
And a lot of kids that I've taken care of, a lot of cases that I've gone on, a lot of their kids are out of state. A
right,
lot of their kids, you go
right,
into the home and it's sad that, there's no food in the fridge.
right,
There's no clean clothes. What do? They just order new clothes. There's no
right,
need for that when there's a washer, when there's a
right,
dryer.
right, right.
When there's places where you can get food delivered to you. It's very important because a lot of times, you know, when you're alone, who wants to eat? Who wants to cook? And it's great to have somebody there, to prep you meals, to have food for you, to make sure that you're eating, that you're getting the
Or
nutrition that
just
you need.
companionship, or just companionship that they're
Definitely.
lacking. Because sometimes when they're at the senior age, and I'm not always saying seniors, but we're talking about seniors now, they've lost their social circle. Maybe they're widowed. Maybe they don't have friends anymore. Maybe their friends have passed away. They're sitting at home all day and they're sitting in filth. They're sitting without having a good meal. They're eating, garbage. They're eating packaged foods. So yeah, it's good when someone can come in, maybe a caregiver. I suggest a caregiver, or a next door neighbor. But you don't want. But once again, who wants that responsibility of the next door neighbor to be checking in all the time? So once again, I think these are topics to discuss when you see these things declining with your loved one. Um, Not having medications. Once again, weight loss, poor hygiene, not having the right meals, um, increased isolation. When you can pick up on these things, this is the time to have the discussion. Mom, dad, whoever, loved one, you need care. Let's start part time and go up. We don't need to start 24
Also, another
7.
thing, they lose their license. They can't drive. They have appointments and
That's the biggest
medication and
one.
pharmacy. You need a caregiver. You need someone to take you and take you to the store to get groceries, take you to the doctor to get, your annual check. What do you have diabetes or, their Parkinson? They need their medication
Right,
and be on it.
right, for sure.
They
For sure. I forgot to mention that most of these people that have
can't
these
drive
ailments,
anymore.
they don't drive anymore. Right. So how are they getting their groceries? How are they getting their medication? How are they getting to the doctors? So all of those things, yes. All of those topics I think are really important when you start notice these declines in your loved one, to have the conversation. It's time for care. And it
Just
can be
there when the
scary.
doctor says, no more license. Okay, let's get someone to help you to make it to
Right.
point A, point B safely. Make
Right.
sure you're
Right.
getting your medication and your food. And, it's very important to have somebody watching over your loved one. And I'm sure families will get peace of mind.
Yeah, and it's like I'm gonna just like pat myself on the shoulder because my company, Finding Home Care, I have over 144 5-star reviews. My company is different than any home health care agency. Yes, I'm a caregiver staffer company, but I am meticulous in my vetting to make sure I get the exact match of what your loved one's needs are, from personality to ailment to skill set to whatever your needs are from A to Z. I plug that into a caregiver and I present that to you. So
Not just because I am a friend and a caregiver, but Lindsay is 100% on that. We do meets and greets. If it's not a match with the family, let's go on to the next. She has other caregivers. She finds the perfect match for you, for your families with the needs. She checks off every list, you know, and she finds the right caregiver for you.
thank you.
Also caregivers ourselves. There's families that we don't feel comfortable with. There's a case that, we don't feel comfortable with. She also thinks of us, not only of the families,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm a
the
huge advocate for
key.
caregivers and for families. I mean, I have a Facebook group called CNAs and Caregivers with over 9,400 caregivers that follow me, and it grows daily. And I think it's because I'm a huge advocate for one thing, for them getting paid a certain way, but I'm a huge advocate for making a match so everyone's happy. Like, who wants to go to work when you're miserable? I want someone to go to work where they love that person's, loved one. They're empathetic. They're able to do things, for that person, and they have like joy in their heart. When they leave work, they go home happy. They don't go home stressed. And I try and make that match. So, I think this is a good topic for people to understand. I think this was like great 10 topics for people to know that, hey, if we see something declining here, it's time to have the discussion and get care. And yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. How about you, Caro?
I think we've nailed it.
I think we nailed it.
Pretty
And
important topics.
yep. Anyway, guys, have a great evening. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Unfiltered Caregiver. Bye.
Bye, guys. Good night.